Welcome to the regular meeting of the Recreation and Parks Commission. I would like to call the meeting to order. Can we go ahead and have Commissioner Escontrias please lead us in a salute to the flag?
Well, can we, I'll check with our city clerk. I think what we need to do first, Chair, is swear in our new commissioner, Jeff Rowe. Is that correct, Eleanor?
Correct. Yes, I need to do that before roll call.
Oh, I thought you said at the end of the meeting for some reason.
No. At the right after calls the meeting to order, we have to do the swear.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
Okay, yeah. So let's swear him in then.
Okay. So I'm Eleanor Gonzalez, city clerk, and I will administer the oath to Jeffrey Rowe. If you can please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name.
I, Jeffrey Rowe,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support and defend
that I will support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that I take this obligation freely without any mental reservation,
I missed that part.
without any mental reservation.
Without any mental reservation?
Yeah, without any.
Yeah, you're breaking out. Without any mental reservation.
Correct. Or purpose of evasion.
I missed it again.
Okay. Or purpose of evasion. In that I will and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
And then also, I just want to know, you're going to be sent the certificate. You'll keep the blue one, and then the one below you'll sign and just go ahead and mail it to us in a self-addressed envelope. We'll send that out tomorrow.
Yeah, it wasn't you. It was the connection was a little bit jumpy, so I'd miss a word every now and then. So
that's okay. You said you got it all.
I thought it'd be worthwhile to get the wording correctly without saying anything really silly on my end.
So, nope, you did great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Anna.
Okay, so then we will move ahead to roll call. Can I get a roll call from, let's see, where's Cameron? There we go.
Okay, Commissioner Rowe. Commissioner Rowe, just say here.
Here.
Let's see, Commissioner McCauley.
Here.
Commissioner Escontrias.
Here.
Commissioner Lang is absent. Commissioner Barbarigos is also absent. So Chair Super.
Here.
And just for the commission's information, Commissioner Arata was reassigned to the Public Works Commission, so she will no longer serve on this commission.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we will move along then to C. I'll go with Commissioner Escontrias again, if you could please lead us in the salute to the flag.
Okay. Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And then can I go ahead and then get a motion to approve the order of the agenda?
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay, and then do we need to receive and file, a motion to receive and file blue folder items? I know we have some, right?
No, there shouldn't be any blue folder items this evening. We just have one presentation, which should be under the director's report.
Oh, that's right. Okay, it's under the direct. Okay, that's right. Okay, and then so we approved the order of the agenda. Now we need a motion to approve the consent calendar.
That's correct.
Can I get a motion?
Motion to approve the consent calendar.
Thank you. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Okay. And now moving right along to the minutes from our August 11, 2021 meeting. Do I need a motion to approve those? I believe I do, right?
No, you actually just approved them as part of the consent calendar. So you guys are all set.
Okay, so then we're moving right along to H, public participation on non-agenda items. Do we have any public participation?
Do we have someone from the city clerk's office on tonight? I don't have any notification of any public participation tonight, so no.
Okay. And then, so should we just move right along to, items from previous agendas? Do we have any of that?
Not tonight, no.
Okay. Items for discussion prior to action?
Not tonight, no. It's a pretty light agenda tonight.
Okay, and then, so we're moving right along to the director's report. Look at that.
Yeah. So part of the reason why we have such a light agenda tonight is because we knew we were going to have a pretty light attendance tonight. So we didn't want to put any large discussion items on the agenda without a full commission. But I did want to do a couple things. I have a couple updates for the commission. But before I get into that, I want to introduce two new members of our staff. We have our new senior management analyst, Kelly Orta, with us tonight, who comes to us from the city of Hermosa Beach. And Kelly will actually be taking over as the direct liaison to this commission beginning next month. And then we also have our new recreation supervisor with us tonight, Michelle Pinedo, who comes to us from the city of Torrance. So I wanted to introduce both of them and give them an opportunity to introduce themselves to you. So we'll start with Kelly. If you could do a quick introduction and maybe a little bio, that'd be great.
Sure, thank you. I appreciate it. So good evening, Chair and Commission. It's truly an honor to be here this evening and to be new with the City of Redondo Beach. I am really excited to work with you all. And so just a really brief bio of myself. As Cameron mentioned, I do come from the City of Hermosa Beach, where I was there for 14 years in their Parks and Recreation Department. And previous to that, I was with the City of Colton for 5 years as well. So I have about 19 years of experience in the field and genuinely love it. I love all things Parks and Recreation, and I'm really excited to kind of get immersed with all that Redondo has to offer its residents and to work really closely with you all on furthering goals and to support you in any way that I can. So I appreciate the opportunity tonight, and I'm working with you all in the future.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Michelle, can you introduce yourself?
Hi, good evening, everyone. I am Michelle Pinedo. I'm coming directly from the city of Torrance, but I have about 20 years of experience in recreation programming. I started off in after-school programming, and then I worked for this Manhattan Country Club in Manhattan Beach for about 10 years. My last 5 years there, I was a director of club programs, overseeing the tennis, aquatics, fitness, youth, and preschool departments. And so I have experience across like early childhood education, all the way to like senior programming. I then went to the city of Montana and worked in their cultural arts division, overseeing their cultural arts facilities and special events, as well as contract classes. And in my last 2.5 years with the city of Torrance, I was in their cultural services division, but also assisted with adult sports and senior programming. So I'm really excited to be joining the team. I'm a South Bay resident, so I'm really glad to be able to serve the community I live in.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. So yeah, I have a couple items I wanted to update the commission on, and then Michelle and our recreation coordinator, Shannon Sneed, have an update for you tonight on facilities and programming. So first, I wanted to update you on the skateboard park project. At the council's meeting on October 5th, they actually approved a contract for design and build, and that is for both the locations at Perry Park and down at the pier. And that vendor anticipates completion of both sites by the end of June of 2022. Also wanted to give you an update on the Dominguez Park upgrade project. I checked in with our engineering staff, and that project is really suffering. They're really suffering from a staff shortage right now, combined with a big surge in project volume. The council approved several CIPs within this year's budget. And so the combination of a staffing shortage and project volume is really putting them behind. They're hoping to onboard a design consultant as soon as they can get their staffing situation sorted out and get a project manager on there. But they are aware, I did check in with them, they are very aware of the input you provided several months ago in regards to layout, style, and aesthetics. And they're committed to incorporating all the information you provided into that design and working to, with whatever vendor is selected, to make sure that information is incorporated. An update on the community garden project over at Alta Vista. We have a draft license agreement that we've sent over to the South Bay Parkland Conservancy. They are reviewing that draft and we're awaiting their comments to come back to us. We're hoping to hear back from them shortly and get a contract in front of the city council for approval. Optimistically, I'm hoping for next month so we can move forward and start construction, hopefully as soon as this spring. Also wanted to update you on the pickleball feasibility study. That project is underway. Again, I want to appreciate your patience from the last meeting we had. I know that was probably very frustrating for the commissioners and those who attended, but I do think we were able to get some good feedback from you and from the members of the public. We're hoping that contractor, consultant will wrap up that study either November, December, so we can bring the report back to you. I would anticipate having a decent size public participation at that meeting whenever we do bring it back to you. But again, November, December is probably the probable timeline of when we'll bring that report back to you. Also, Seaside Lagoon, at your last meeting, I mentioned that we did receive a sizable grant from the state for the rehabilitation of Seaside Lagoon, $10 million grant. The council directed us to go out for what we call an RFP, a request for proposal, to seek a consultant who will handle conceptual design for us. So we're in the middle of putting together that RFP now. We hope to get that in front of council within the next month or so and get a consultant selected, hopefully before the end of the year. Whoever the consultant that is selected, they will work very closely with this commission, similar to what you've done with the pickleball feasibility study. We're going to want not only your input on conceptual design of Seaside Lagoon, but also the public input, a lot of public input on the conceptual design for Seaside Lagoon. So you will get a chance to comment on that, provide input on that, and we'll use these commission meetings as a vehicle for public comment on that as well. And then finally, I just want to remind all of you, you should have received an email, especially Commissioner Rowe, for a commissioner orientation on October 26th. It's mainly for new commissioners, but all commissioners are encouraged to attend. If you did not receive that information, please reach out to me or the city clerk's office, and I can make sure that you receive that information. Also, I see Jacob joined us. Thank you, Commissioner Barbarigos. And before I hand it over to Michelle and Shannon, if it's okay, Chair, I'll open it up for any questions on the items I discussed.
Yeah, that's great. Does anyone have any questions? Let me bring up my participants. Commissioner McCauley.
Thank you, Chair. Cameron, for the garden at Alta Vista, is it still going to be that same location they were originally talking about?
Yeah, towards the south end there of the park, at the south end of the parking lot. Yeah, okay. That's where it'll go. Yep.
Cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Cameron, you haven't gone in the agenda, we have like a presentation about sailing and other items. Is that to follow?
Yeah, that'll come. I just wanted to open it up for questions on the items that I mentioned. And then, yeah, we have a presentation from Michelle and Shannon to follow on program and facility updates.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Commissioner Escondrias.
Yes, concerning the community garden, the location, is that going to interfere or kind of conflict with the proposal for the little mini dog park that is being pushed out in a similar area?
I don't think so, but let's be sure to meet on that, Commissioner Escondrias, and double check. To be honest with you, I haven't gotten fully up to speed on that dog park project over at Alta Vista. So before we iron out a license agreement with South Bay Parkland Conservancy, I'll reach out to you and Mike Klein of our Public Works Department and make sure that it's not in conflict.
Well, it's my understanding that I believe the community garden is somewhere next to the racquetball courts in that area. I believe that's what it was. If so, my understanding is that's what the proposal is for for this mini dog park that's kind of being shoved through in that area. So my concern would be, or two sides to the concern would be, one, is it going to conflict for one, and two, are you saturating that area with for parking and other issues that are going to come up on that side of the park in Alta Vista?
You know, all great concerns. I know the community gardens at the very south end of the park. To be completely honest with you, I'm not up to speed on the dog run or the dog park-ish area. So like I said, I'd be more comfortable getting in touch with our Public Works Department and getting more up to speed on that, and then circling back with you and answering some more of your questions once I have more of the information.
Yeah, because I think what's going on, especially with or would appear anyway, with the community garden, that it's a good idea. It's well received. It's something that a lot of people want, and what I don't want to do is throw a wrench into it at the last minute when things are starting to flow and just starting to go with it, and now suddenly we have to reevaluate it because of pet projects.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you bringing it up. It's the perfect time to bring it up now because we're still working with the South Bay Parkland Conservancy to iron out the logistics of the project and the license agreement. So it's a great time to bring it up. I appreciate you bringing it up now, and I will be sure to dig into that project and contact Public Works and then circle back with you as soon as I get more information.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. I don't see any other questions from any of our commissioners. I think we can move along, right? Unless there's any. Yeah.
Okay, great. I'll introduce Recreation Supervisor Michelle Pinedo and our Recreation Coordinator Shannon Sneed. And as I mentioned, they'll give you an update on our programs and facilities.
Great.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Let me share my screen. So we'll be sharing updates on recreation and going to get started with contract classes.
Oh, I'll go ahead and start with this one. Registration for the fall classes began at the beginning of September, and the classes are now underway. And they'll go through till probably around Thanksgiving for most classes. Our winter newsletter will be out the first week of December, and the winter session will begin the third week of January. We began registering with our rec track in the middle of March, and we will also start using the system to reserve tennis courts and also set up memberships for tennis members for Alta Vista. Our target date again is the beginning of November. Thank you.
We have our senior and family services. We are continuing to bring back in-person programming at all three senior centers. So slowly starting to bring some of those classes back to in-person. Some of them are still hybrid, as you can see here. And all of these are listed online. In addition to all the virtual programming that we will continue to offer, the virtual programming is pretty popular, and we get people from actually all over the country that participate in that. But in the South Bay, it's very popular with all the senior community. On Monday through Thursdays is when we do most of our virtual programming, and then we do the second Friday of the month. We'll do coffee and city updates with our staff. This upcoming Monday, October 18th, Beach City Health District will be hosting a vaccine clinic for older adults. If people are eligible, they can register on myturn.ca.gov. Our family and our senior and family services team will be on site to answer any questions regarding our programming and more resources that are available to the community.
Okay, the Seaside Lagoon, we've had a pretty busy September and October, even though we closed down for the public mid-August. We've been busy with events. We just finished the Beach Life and the Smacktoberfest. They were both pretty big successes. A lot of people have really enjoyed the events going on. We're getting ready this weekend with Rocktoberfest. It'll be this Friday, and it'll end on Sunday. They anticipate about 800 to 1,200 participants each day. The Lobster Festival is canceled for this year. They are making plans for next year. The Redondo Beach Police Department will be hosting an event on December 4th. It's a Saturday. It's free for the community, and it's called Let It Snow. So they're going to bring in a bunch of snow for the kids to play with, have a ramp for the kids to slide down, and a bunch of other activities. Our recreation department will be in charge of the Santa's workshop, and we'll do crafts and stuff with our recreation staff. Okay, next slide.
Here's some of our after-school program stats. We offer after-school programs at 8 different elementary school locations here in Redondo Beach. You see listed here our current enrollment. We do have wait lists at every single location. This is mainly to do with a staffing shortage that's really across the board. In California, all agencies are having a hard time bringing on part-time staff. So we're working diligently to try to hire new staff members. And so if you guys know of anyone that's interested, please send them our way.
Okay, and then by the way, all these pages and activities, at the end, we're going to list the websites that you can find this information. So if you have more questions, you can always go to our websites. For our Thanksgiving camp, last year we weren't able to offer this because of COVID, but this year we are moving forward. We're going to have a Thanksgiving camp. Redondo Beach Unified School District is out for the entire week. We will cover Monday through Wednesday. It'll be open from 8 to 5:30. It's held at the Teen Center. It's $105 per camper. And we're starting with our registration, with our Rec Track registration, so people can register online now for the camp. Okay, for our Saline Program, we're currently renewing our grant for the Saline Program to help offset the costs and encourage boating safety in the community. We currently offer 4 different types of classes year-round, and we have 5 different boats that we're actively using for the classes. The prices range from $350 for semi-private lessons to $500 for private lessons. We also offer annual sailing club memberships at $300 per year.
So our teen center is currently closed, but we're anticipating to reopen in early November following after school hours, similar to our after school programs. The Youth Commission did meet via Zoom on Thursday, October 7th, and we'll be planning to meet every other month. They are starting to plan special events that will take place at the Teen Center. Adult sports, we have slow pitch softball that is now running at Alta Vista Park on Sundays. We're currently working on reintroducing co-ed volleyball and basketball at Aviation Gym. At Alta Vista, the tennis center has been extremely busy. Marine League is now utilizing our courts Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings, and USTA, the U.S. Tennis Association, play on Friday evenings and Saturdays, along with the tennis lessons that are offered at Alta Vista. Round robins are available Monday through Thursday. They do, however, sell out on Tuesdays and Thursdays for the 4 and O+ players. Facility rentals at various locations are available and can be booked by contacting those facilities.
Okay, the farmers market. This is held every Thursday, rain or shine, from 8 in the morning till 1 in the afternoon. It will be closed on Thanksgiving and during the Christmas and New Year's holiday weeks. It's located next to Veterans Park on George Freeth Way. There is free parking in the adjacent parking lot.
And as mentioned earlier, we are currently hiring staff members. We're doing outreach to the local high schools, and community colleges, and universities.
I think we're frozen.
Yep. Can you see the slide?
We just see we're hiring. That is. Oh, that's
Yeah, I can see it. Sorry, I think it's my connection.
So we're just asking for your assistance to get the word out, along with us reaching out to different schools around the area so that we can start offering a lot of the programmings that were put on pause during COVID. So here are some of the links for our programming and social media pages. This wraps up the information that we have for you. Please let us know if you have any questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Do any of the commissioners have any questions? Please raise your hand if you do, and I'll call on you.
Yeah, I've got a question. This is Jeff. How's the tomatoes at the farmer's market? Are they good?
I don't like tomatoes, so I wouldn't know.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I like them cooked.
No, I grow my own tomatoes. I'm curious if I can buy some more somewhere else. That might be in the same ballpark as mine.
Let's see. I don't have any hands raised, but I do have a couple of questions. The first one is about staffing, the staffing that you're talking about. Has the rec wait list dwindled at all since the beginning of September, the end of August? Have any of the staffing issues been alleviated, or do they just sort of is it just frozen?
Do you want me to?
Shannon, yeah, can you answer that, Shannon?
Yeah, okay. So basically it's on hold. What we've done is because it's the staff, by the way, we have 7 staff in queue being hired. So that's looking promising. We just need to wait till they're onboarded and train them, get them through orientation. So it's like we're right on the edge to move to the next step. But in the interim, just to get some more people off of that list, what we've done is we've taken a daily average at each location, and our maximum attendance is at 30. So if, for example, our daily average is 25, what we've done is we opened up 5 more spaces so that we can hit that maximum attendance at 30. So we have moved at each location, we have moved some people off of the wait list into the program. But as far as moving a larger portion of people on the wait list, we just need to get that additional staff person in there so that we meet our ratios.
I see. Okay, thank you. And then my second question is about sailing. It's interesting because I was going to bring this up as a referral to staff later, which I will do. But I know that City Council was waiting on a follow-up report that was requested in June 2021 as part of like a budget motion to get from Community Services Department to get a report on what was happening with sailing and some of the slips at the Portofino Marina. Is there any movement with that? Does anyone know when that report is expected to?
Yeah, we're working on that report now. We're hoping to have something go to council hopefully in November. And it's in progress, and we're hoping to get it in front of council in the next couple of weeks here.
Okay. Do we have any other commissioner questions? We do have an attendee, which we've never had before. It says in participants, and that hand is raised. Should I go there? Okay, great. So if there's no other commissioners, then sorry. It's weird because Commissioner Varvarigos is now Cameron Harding on my computer. It's very
yeah, I just saw that too.
Wow, that's very odd. Okay, so we have Michael Martin, an attendee who has his hand up. So I will call on him if he has access to speak. Is there any way to allow him to speak? I know I don't have that capability on my computer. Does anyone have that capability on theirs?
I am looking here. I am not sure that I do here.
I see him on do we have to just click him?
Yeah.
You want me to click his name or?
Yeah, if you can, Shannon, that'd be great.
It is not doing anything. So if you look at the participants, I don't have access to allow him to speak, but the attendees, he's in the attendees section.
Okay, I see him. Okay, let's see. Okay, there he goes. Okay. So Michael, you just need to unmute yourself and then you can address the commission.
I got that, and you just actually basically covered the item I'm interested in. Your report back to the city council is standing in the way of waterfront and economic development moving out on a somewhat related issue, which pertains to coastal commission compliance. So I hate to see Rec and Parks be a roadblock to that. So I'm looking forward to whatever it is you're going to come back to city council with. And I assume it's going to cover all of the pertinent issues, which maybe you could refresh my memory. What do you think those pertinent issues are?
Well, Michael, this isn't an agenda item tonight, so we can't really discuss it. But it will be agendized on a city council meeting, then we can address it further. But to answer your question, at least generally, is that we got direction to basically present to council a summary of what the sailing program is, how it operates, how it's funded, the expenditures that goes along with it. And so that's what we'll be presenting to city council.
Okay, I get it. I think this commission could perhaps consider some other issues. So I'll be interested to see if that happens. Oh, the issues would be, by the way, the sailing club and the abrupt policy switch by which the city severed a 47-year relationship with the Redondo Beach Sailing Club and went off and decided to form its own sailing club. And as far as I know, if I wanted to appeal that kind of policy change, this is one of the bodies where it could be appealed. So that would be appropriate for future discussion here. The second one is related to waterfront and economic development. There are two slips at the Portofino that the Recreation Department has possession of and is not using. Those under the Coastal Commission agreement were to be given to a nonprofit sailing club, which the Redondo Beach Sailing Club is. But after severing the relationship, the city has kept possession of those slips and is not using them for anything, as far as I can tell. So this commission might want to look into that. The city council report will presumably cover what piqued Nils Narrenheim's interest originally, which was unfortunate. The large size of the subsidy that the city is providing to the sailing program. It's not that these things are expected to run a profit, of course they're not, but the magnitude of the deficit is enough that you could just give every participant a check and they could go over to South Bay Sailing and get a lesson over there for free. So it was way out of whack, and I can't for the life of me understand why, because I can't see where those expenses are. Hopefully you'll cover that with city council. If not, that would be very appropriate for this commission to look at, because I don't think the spending side of that program has received very much scrutiny over the years, or the fleet size, I don't think has received a whole lot of scrutiny. You have 7 boats. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you for that. Do we have any other questions? Either in that vein about that or anything else that was discussed in the presentation?
Are you asking me or
Oh, no, the commissioners.
commissioners? Okay.
Thank you. Thank you for speaking to us. Let's see. It's so weird. It says that Cameron Harding has a question, but I'm assuming that that is actually Commissioner Rodriguez. Is that correct? Yes. Okay. Commissioner Rodriguez.
Hi, everybody. Sorry that I'm late. I had a question, I guess, regarding something that gentleman Michael Martin said, and maybe for Cameron Harding. Wouldn't be necessarily my specialty to know the question, but he said that the Recreation Commission or the Recreation and Parks has the sailing club is under our purview, but really it's the Community Services Department. Is that right? We as a commission are not a part of the city so much. We are volunteer community base. We can bring up issues, but as far as us having a purview to do something, it's Community Services Department.
Yeah, that's correct. You can direct us if you have a majority of the commission that's interested. You can direct us to look into something and come back to you with information or presentations or things like that. This body can make recommendations to the city council, and that's your primary service, is to work with us to help you on projects that you're interested in, ask us to look into certain things that you might be interested in within the Parks and Recreation aspect of the Community Services Division, and then make recommendations to the City Council. So yeah, I think you're right in line with your comments there, Commissioner Barbarigos. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. So then I guess to go along with someone like Michael Martin, then it's helpful to receive his report if he represents a community of people, of like-minded people who are interested in the Redondo Beach Sailing Club. And that, because I don't have any experience personally, I don't see how us going into like a investigation. But we receive those types of reports and it can make recommendations. So I think it's helpful for communities to come forward, and represent like that. So that's the only thing I had to say.
Yeah, and like Mr. Martin mentioned, we've already received direction from City Council to prepare a report and bring that back to them, and we're in the midst of doing that now. And we can certainly loop this commission into that report and give you some information on the sailing program at a future meeting if you'd like.
I mean, I have about 3 referrals to staff, and that was one of them. Should I bring it up now that we're on the topic, or should I wait until referrals to staff?
Probably more or appropriate to do it under referrals.
That's what I thought. That's why I was waiting. Okay, thank you. Okay, are there any other questions? I don't see anything. So then why don't we move along? We've done our director report, and now I believe, does that conclude the director's report, or is there more? That's it. Okay, all right. Well, then we are, in fact, moving to item K, member items and referrals to staff. So do we have any commissioners that have any items that they like to add to next month's agenda or refers to staff. Let's go with Commissioner McCauley.
Thank you, Chair. For Cameron, I just wanted to follow up. There were two items I wanted to refer. One is a while back, we were never really finalized the Parks Commission, the grant program. And I was hoping to hear a little bit about, or maybe it's a conversation that we could just have offline at some point, if that's more appropriate. But I was just trying to figure out, there's grant money from I think the county or the state. And I just wanted to see that if the city of Redondo Beach if we're following up to make sure that we can get our share of whatever the pot is, if we're doing it already, just anything on that. And then the other one was just about the park right now. A while back at Alta Vista Park, I'm sorry, we had the police officer come in and they were talking about the speed bumps, and the city was talking about that. Just if we can have a follow-up at some future meeting onto if there's any progress on that item.
Yeah, actually, we touched on both of those items at your last meeting in September. Okay. Yeah, and so I can give you a brief update on those. We received the $10 million from the state for the Seaside Lagoon rehabilitation. We also received some Prop 68 per capita money, about $219,000 from the state on that, which the council has allocated towards rubber play surfacing at Perry Park. We also have some Measure A funds that we're looking into. We haven't decided where those funds will go to now, and we're kind of cleaning up a past grant with the county. And once we're able to clean up that past grant, we'll be able to kind of focus more on future Measure A funds. But I'd be more than happy to talk to you about in more detail offline. Don't hesitate to contact me. And then over at Alta Vista, the council did approve some safety measures in the parking lot over there. We went through those in the September meeting, so I can't remember specifically what all those are off the top of my head, but if you'd like, again, feel free to reach out to me and I can figure out exactly what those are and get you the specifics on that.
Awesome. Thank you. I really appreciate that.
Yep.
Okay. Are there any other items from commissioners? Okay, then I will go with mine then. So I have a couple different things. The first thing is because Commissioner Arata is no longer on our commission, I know that she was the liaison to the Historical Commission, particularly regarding the historical murals. And so I'm just wanting perhaps to put on next agenda, or maybe we don't even need it on the agenda, but we do need to try to appoint or elect or whatever another liaison for that.
Yeah, actually, at your next meeting, you're due to basically reorganize if this commission so chooses. I didn't think it would be appropriate tonight, it being Commissioner Rowe's first meeting and us having a lightly attended meeting tonight. But that will be on your November meeting agenda, both to reorganize the commission chair and vice chair, as well as the subcommittee members.
Okay, fantastic, great, okay. And then the other thing is I received an email from a concerned Redondo resident, and it was actually very thought-provoking. And I'm curious if maybe you could come back to us, or staff could come back to our commission with a better understanding of the historic library at Veterans Park. And I know it's private property because I know people rent it out for weddings and various events, but I also know that it's a public landmark. And so I just want to get a better understanding, because I am not familiar with what constitutes private property. Why is it private property since it's in a public park, et cetera, et cetera. and just sort of understand that a bit better.
Sure. If it's okay with you, I can actually address that right now.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, it's actually not private property. It's owned by the city. And in the past, what we've done is we've had a license agreement with a catering service. And that license agreement, it basically worked as a landlord-tenant relationship. The last agreement that we had was with a company called Spectrum Catering. And that agreement allowed Spectrum Catering to basically rent the library out for weddings, birthdays, parties, you name it. That agreement with Spectrum expired right around the time the pandemic hit. And as you know, before I got here, we've had a lot of turnover with the director seats. So the previous director had decided it wasn't maybe very prudent of the city to go out for an RFP for a new tenant when we didn't know how long the pandemic was going to last, and indoor activities weren't really allowed at the time. And then, as you're aware, Lori Koike served as interim director, and the pandemic was still raging on, and indoor events were still kind of up in the air. Now that things are starting to relax a little bit with the pandemic, we are working on a RFP for to acquire new proposals for potential tenants that will go into the library and then operate much in the same fashion that Spectrum Catering did. We're drafting that RFP as we speak, and hope to get something on a council agenda maybe as soon as November, so we can move forward with that proposal process.
Okay. I guess that kind of makes sense. So essentially, it is public. It is public then.
Yeah, it's a city facility, and then we basically rent it out to a catering or event company that in turn rents it out to the public.
Okay, so there's no way to rent it out from the city. It has to be rented out through another entity.
Right now, we don't have the capacity to do that with our staffing levels, and that's why we've done the license agreement in the past. So
Okay.
Right now, we're not renting it out, but once we get a new tenant in there, we will.
Okay. And then last but not least, this whole sailing thing has been really fascinating because what's interesting is, I've been a rec and parks commissioner for a while, and sailing really does fall under our jurisdiction just because it is housed under community services / rec and parks. So what I would love is, I know that you're sending this report to city council, but what I would love is, I've never been schooled in any of this. And I know maybe a couple of the commissioners before me. I think Commissioner Varvarigos is the only commissioner that's been on this commissioner longer than me. But I never had a sailing program 101. And I would love that. I would not only love a comprehensive report on the city side of the sailing program, but specific info on the dissolution of the relationship with the Redondo Beach Sailing Club is something that I would like particularly addressed, as well as just a breakdown of compliance with Coastal Commission items, and I'm sure that part of it is going to be addressed in what's being presented to City Council. But also a little confused about what this DBW grant is, and whether what that's supposed to actually fund, and just it'd be nice, since we have this in front of us that was in the director's report, to actually really fully understand what this means.
Sure. We'll bring basically the same report that we're doing to council. We can bring that to you at your next meeting in November, and may even have some more information for you at that point. So we'll plan on bringing that back to you at your next meeting in November.
Yeah, that would be great. Cause like I said, we've never, we deal with parks, we deal with rec, we deal with all of that, but this is technically, part of our deal here. And we've never been schooled. So
sure.
Yeah, that would be great.
We'll probably make it a receive and file item and an informational item and allow you, the commission to ask questions, and we'll be more than happy to answer any questions you have.
That'd be great. Thank you. Okay. Is there anything else? Any other questions, comments from any commissioners? I don't see anything. Oh, Commissioner Varvarigos. Sorry, didn't see you.
Yeah, I just had a question. Something that I believe Michael mentioned was that there were resources, I guess city resources that the club was making use of, and then the city went in-house with that aspect of operation. And then he said that those resources were not being utilized anymore, and that it was kind of a waste or something like that. And so I'm wondering, are those things like, is this something that I just don't have that much knowledge about it. So is that also included in the report, or?
Yeah, we'll talk about the relationship with the sailing club and the transition to bringing it underneath the umbrella of the community services department and all that. We'll include that in the report in the presentation.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks.
Okay. I don't see anything else from any commissioners, but I do see Mike Martin has his hand up under the attendees. Is that allowed at this point in the meeting, or?
It's up to you, Chair.
Okay. I just want to make sure I'm following protocol. So, I mean, I'm fine. We're not running late, so I'm fine if he has any comments or questions. I can't unlock him though, so I can't.
Well, that's weird because my hand is not up, but sometime recently I got the ability to unmute myself. So something changed in the setup, but it wasn't me.
Oh, that's very odd. Sometimes there are Zoom mysteries, something new every time. But okay, I can't remove your hand, but you are not raising your hand, so we'll move on. Thank you. Okay, well, if there is nothing else, does anyone want to speak up? Because this hand thing kind of is a mystery. Are there any other commissioners that that would like to speak, but do not, I can't see you for some reason. Commissioner McCauley.
Yes, thank you. Just one question I forgot to ask earlier is, are we ever going to get to where we meet in person, Cameron? Or...
Yeah, I think we're all hoping for that. The latest direction from the governor's office extended the emergency order through the end of the year. So city council meetings will continue to be virtual through the end of the year. Okay. Commission meetings will follow in that direction. And we'll hope to get back in person hopefully after the holidays, but really it depends on the governor's direction.
Okay. Thank you for the clarification.
Okay, well, if there is nothing else, I just want to extend a warm welcome to our 2 new Rec and Parks staff members. It's so nice to see a very robust, staff in the department. So, yeah, and with that, I guess I will make a motion to adjourn the meeting. Do I need a motion to adjourn the meeting, or do I just adjourn the meeting? I forgot.
Usually we get a motion in a second at least. So
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, everyone, have a good night.
Good night.
Thank you.